leaves a longer pause.
Yeah.
We're gonna not. That's fantastic grammar. Just push it out with a flue driver.
Hey squad, we thought we'd show you how to change the oil on the Grom today. Let's get right into it.
Tools you're gonna need: needle nose pliers, a flathead, a medium-sized ratchet, a small-sized ratchet, a long 8mm, a short 8mm, 10mm, a 17mm, and an extension. You're also gonna need some fiberless rags and a catch can. Ideally, you're gonna get some gloves, but that's up to you. So the first thing that you're gonna do is heat up the bike for about 10-15 minutes, just until it's pretty warm to the touch. All right, next step is gonna be undoing your clutch cable. Just press it out of there with a flathead. Then you're gonna unscrew your oil cap, like so. Set it aside. And then underneath, you're gonna undo this 17mm bolt, and we're gonna let the oil drain. We'll be right back. So once your oil's done draining, you can now start to remove the 10 8mm bolts around the clutch cover casing. Just pop this guy right off. We ended up having to take the rear set off, unfortunately, but no big deal. Added about 5 minutes. So as you can see, we used a penny instead of the expensive fancy tools to lock the gears in order to get the first 3 bolts off. So it's a pro tip if you want to use that. The copper isn't hard enough to damage the gears. Works beauty. So once you got your penny in there, you can go ahead and undo these 3 bolts. Just a 10mm. And what the penny does is it locks those gears instead of having this whole thing turn. Next, you're gonna want to remove this little plate here. Boy, nice and juicy in there. So you want to make sure you're using a lint-free towel or shop rag or whatever you're using. Just make sure it's lint-free so you don't get any gunk in there. Oh my God. Get a look at that. So you're gonna be seeing some stuff like this. A little bit's okay, a lot's not so great, but it is what it is. Lots of sediment and buildup of little metal shavings and oil combined. Next thing you want to do is grab your needle nose pliers, pull out this little screen here. Oh yeah. Look at all that. Nasty. Okay, so we got our screen all cleaned off. Brand new again. Notice that it tapers, gets smaller at the back. Always have the width of it at the front when you're putting it back in. Just like that. Next thing you want to do is remove the penny. So grab your needle nose very carefully. Grab your penny out. Now we're gonna put back the spinner plate. And for the screws, we're gonna use some Loctite. We forgot to mention that, but red Loctite on all 3 screws. The torque specs will be in the description, so pop down there if you want to check those out. Okay, so you got your thread locker on there and you put them in. There's a sequence to it. Go around and gently tighten about 2 turns-ish on each one. Going around in a circle or triangle, whichever you prefer. Like we said, the torque specs are gonna be in the description. We don't have a torque wrench, but just kind of going by feel. So once you've got these 3 bolts tightened down, you can pretty much start to put it back together the same way you took it apart.
All right, guys, we got everything back together. We're just going to fill it up with oil now. All right, thanks squad for watching, and I really hope this was very informative. Here, what are you doing?
How did you know? Okay, go.
Hey squad, I really hope this was very informative to all of you, and thanks for watching. Catch you on the flip side. Bye.